to oops growing my stock portfolio to $1 million. So currently the position today was up 1.22% in the morning, and then in the afternoon when the market closed, the position was down by a small difference, 1.18%. So we were just down a little bit, from the morning. So the two positions that I'm currently in are a 2 times Bitcoin ETF and a 2 times Netflix ETF. So let's look at Netflix. So Netflix today, right, was up 61%, and pretty much, we had another successful day, finishing above the 9-day moving average. The 9-day moving average also has finally crossed over the 20-day moving average. Pretty bullish for us Netflix investors. And basically, the MACD is looking bullish as well, with the blue line over the orange line. So on the 30-minute time chart, so I was a little bit kind of worried for Netflix in the morning. The reason I say that is because in the pre-market, Netflix was having trouble breaking out of the 9-day moving average, and until finally, and as soon as the market opened, Netflix pushed through the 9-day moving average, and basically the 9-day moving average in the middle of the day crossed over all of these other moving averages. So this was a pretty bullish for Netflix to do, and so this basically carried the momentum throughout the closing of the day, which made Netflix go even higher after around closing time. So that was pretty kind of worried in the morning, because I was like, man, why is Netflix having such a hard time trying to go up? Because if you kind of look back, right, and let's look at yesterday's chart, for example. So yesterday's chart, pretty much when Netflix opened, as soon as Netflix opened, we were at 75.20. That was the high. But as you can see on the daily chart, the 50-day moving average reads 75.67. We got nowhere near that. So basically, I would say basically right now, I guess the current resistance that Netflix might be having a little trouble with for now might be 75. We need to break the next resistance point, which is 75. Or basically, we need to do the next thing from here, right? The next thing that we need to do from here is that we need to break the 50-day moving average. Once we break the 50-day moving average on the daily chart, that's when we're going to see a huge move for Netflix towards the upside. That's when we're going to see that huge move. For now, it looks like, I would say personally, if as soon as the Netflix couldn't break the $75 level, it couldn't sustain itself at that level, right? So if Netflix couldn't sustain itself at that level, that means it, currently I would say that's the current resistance. So we need to break that 75 level resistance. Once we break it, cool. We'll start seeing Netflix go up and up from here. So that is what I was worried with Netflix, because I was like, okay, we're probably gonna crash, but I hope that's not the case, because I'm like, all this momentum on the 4-hour time chart, and you want to crash now, Netflix? Really? But I was really confident that I was like, okay, if it used the 50-day moving average on August 6th here on the 1330 candle on the 4-hour time chart, and then it used it here in the pre-market on the 930 candle on the 4-hour time chart, most likely, if we do see, Netflix start going down, it's probably going to bounce off the 50-day moving average once again, and we'll see that momentum towards the upside. I was like, I think we shouldn't be worried. I think what I said yesterday is gonna happen. I feel like what's gonna happen is that it's gonna make like a stair step, like a slow stair step to the upside. That's what's gonna happen. I feel like That's what's going to happen with Netflix. So the next thing I do want to talk about is Bitcoin, right? So how did Bitcoin do today? So let's look at Bitcoin real quick on the cryptos. Let's see. Okay, cool. So right now, basically, on the 4-hour time chart, I would say that Bitcoin is in a bullish trend. The reason I say that is because both the 9 and 20-day moving average, you see how the 9 and 20-day moving average look like this on the chart, on the 4-hour time chart? Usually when the 9 and 20-day moving average look like this, that means we're in an uptrend. That's usually, partly true, but not partly true. So in this case, it's been consistent since August 3rd. So we saw the 9-day moving average cross over the 20-day moving average on August 3rd at the 8-minute candle on the 4-hour time chart. So I'd honestly see, Bitcoin, if it does dip, right? It could either dip on the 20-day moving average because it kind of used it here as support. It bounced off the 20-day moving average around this area, around August 6th. And so I honestly see, if Bitcoin does decide to fall, we could use the 20-day moving average as support and bounce off of it. Now, the next thing I do want to talk about is an update on the $1,000 paper trading challenge. So today we made $44 trading Apple call options. So looking at Apple, I got into Apple call options as soon as Apple was at 11.59. So let's look at Apple. Let's see. Where's Apple? 11. I said 11.59, right? Okay, cool. Let's look at 11.59. Okay. So I got into Apple call options as soon as Apple landed on the 50-day moving average, waited for a bounce, and then at 13.21, when I sold out the position, I secured $44 trading Apple call options. So the position was up 6.21%. So basically what the game plan from here is to step one, sell out the position once you're up 5 or 10%. And step two, when you're down in the position, sell out the position when you're down 5 or 10%. And the third step would be to not revenge trade at all. So this week was, I would say it was okay a little bit. We had, I think, so far this week, two losers, I think. And the other 3 days were winners. But those 2 days took a big hit for us because we traded QQQ. We took a big loss, sort of. And then we traded, I forgot what was the other stock we took a loss on. I think it was AVGO, I think. But we also took a huge loss on that one. I think it was like $46. So $46, I think we took a loss. And the other loss was like $72, I think. So we did take a hit this week trading trading options. But I'll keep you guys updated on to next week's. And if you sign up with my Webull link located in the description below, you can get up to 10 free fractional shares. That is pretty much it. I'll keep you guys updated in the next video. As always, peace.